Okay, here we are back at part 3B. This is a continuation of trying to loosen up the engine so I can shift it around so I can take off on the other side the foot peg so that I can take the primary off. So what I found out is I got to go ahead and loosen up the engine all the way around. I'll probably go ahead and loosen the front mounts. You got mid mount right down here. I believe they're 11/16, but I don't have an 11/16 box in. So what I'm going to do is loosen up the back, and I'll just use the incredibly always popular crescent wrench. First thing I'm going to keep working to pop off the right hand silencer. Get started there. Like almost everything, these are going to be 1/2 inch. Get it, loosen this up. Don't want to grab on it very well. Okay, fairly loose. All right, loosened the rear end. Got a, can't see it on the video, but you've got a rear strut that holds it off of the chrome bar going around the rear seat. So got that all loosened up. Got some 1/2 inch. Again, you might not be able to see it in the video, but I showed it, I believe, in part 2. Some 1/2 inch bolts that run into the silencer itself. And this is actually probably one of the better reasons I'm doing this video, is I just discovered on the right rear silencer, one of the 2 1/2 inch bolts holding it onto the body clamp have come loose. That could have been, after I took it off and cleaned them, may not have torqued it down properly. This is all good. Things tend to like to vibrate off of this bike. And I'll slide the silencer off. There we go. One thing, I'll just set it off to the side right now before I catalog it and all the other parts. So I'm going to take off this down tube. This is held onto the header pipe right up here with a pipe clamp that's built into the header pipe, and 7/16 threaded bolt runs through there. And see if I can loosen this up. Nice. Get that off of there, and I'll just loosen it up. Nothing else holding it on. See if it's going to behave with us today here. There we go. Set that down there. So my focus is loosen up these 3 bolts here on the rear of the engine. Just loosen it up. I'll loosen up the engine mounts. That way I can shift the engine just slightly so that I can take off the left hand side foot peg. So here we are again with 1/2 inch. So feel in behind there. I think I might be able to get that with the box in. Go. Looks like there's another one directly above it that goes through the rear casing also. Where the first one I just took out is attaching the metal plate to the frame itself. There we go. And got another one here. And got one right up here on the top. Reach in here behind the ignition wires. And looks like we've got one right there. And good deal. So I've got this whole side loose here. Not quite shift the engine yet. So I'll take the crescent wrench and just loosen up the lower engine mount a little bit. Got plenty of threads here. And this bolt runs all the way through the engine. Oh, I got that one on there nice and tight. just so I can shift it around to relieve some tension off of the left rear so I can pop that foot peg out. Got one more engine mount up here. There we go. And threaded rod that go through the engine, they are 13/16. So I've got that one loosened up enough. Should be able to use a crescent wrench without damaging the nut. But, I've had a lot of this bike apart, but never the engine. Only thing I've actually taken off of the engine besides the carburetors and the exhaust was these side covers so that I could polish them. Let's see here. Okay. All right, got a little movement on there, so I'm going to jump around the other side, see if I can take off the rear foot peg. And it's nice and loose. Spacers are coming out. And there we go. So I've got this left foot peg off, and it had several bolts going through both the frame and also the rear left rear engine cover. There were spacers in there to offset this bolt, which you cannot reach from underside the vehicle, so you have to take this off. And on this side, you can see I don't want to necessarily take that plate off because of the rear swing arm shaft goes through it. So I'll just loosen that up. If I have to take it off to pull out the whole engine casing, then I will. So right now, this is the end of part 3B of the 1969 BSA Rocket 3 engine rebuild. Right now we're still in the investigation phase, trying to figure out why the engine won't rotate over. Taking off the tank, obviously the entire exhaust has been off, loosened up or removed all the engine mounts, and removed the left foot peg for the primary purpose of part 4, which is taking off the primary chain cover to inspect the clutch. Thank you very much.